I think I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if you know this, but once every couple of hundreds of years, the sun hits us with a solar flare of proportions that we can't even begin to comprehend. A solar wave that could potentially kill all of us. I don't think we're ready. I'm certainly not ready. If society goes to what am I gonna do? All I do is make YouTube videos and I'm not even good at it. I guess I have to start getting good at sucking dick because the apocalypse is coming. And you know what? I am quite simply tired of the government doing nothing about this. I'm going to prepare you for an event like this. Do you ever think about how overly reliant we are on our energy grid? I don't know if you know this, but the sun is surprisingly dangerous in the most awesome way. Where on the one hand, it's the only reason we're alive. Yet on the other hand, it's basically a giant nuke. If you were to put it in a scale of power plants, the sun's energy would be compared to 44 million power plants. And do you know how many power plants there are on the planet right now? Only about 60,000 power plants. So when I say that the sun is going to hit us with a solar wave, now then, if you don't know what a solar flare is, it's basically an explosion from the sun that sends out light, energy, and high-speed particles into space. Most solar flares don't damage us because our atmosphere is surprisingly good at protecting us from space energy. And most solar flares don't actually have enough energy to damage us. So if you ever hear people saying that a Carrington level event will one day knock us all completely out, don't listen to them. But a Miyake level event, now that's dangerous because the real problem are super flares. A super flare is 10 times as powerful as a normal solar flare. Being hit with a solar flare is like being hit with a BB gun. But being hit with a super flare is like being hit with a cannonball. You want to hear something awesome? It was recently revealed in a study that every star in our galaxy similar to our sun actually releases a super flare once every century. Our sun only releases a super flare once every millennia. So on the one hand, thank you, oh blessed sun. But on the other hand, how could you betray us like that? No. And the problem is, we are overdue for a super flare because I found evidence of a solar flare hitting us about 1,000 to 2,000 years ago. Being hit with a super flare could potentially change our entire way of living. For example, power grids can be affected. High voltage power lines and transformers can be overloaded by the amount of energy coming from a CME. Satellites, since they're not protected by the atmosphere, they get a full blast of radiation. Aviation systems could be completely disrupted, causing airplanes to crash into each other. So if we unexpectedly get hit by a super flare, water stations wouldn't have the energy to supply clean water. Food won't be able to be stored in your house because there's nothing powering fridges. And honestly, people would just start shooting each other because everybody goes crazy when there's a tiny catastrophe. So imagine when the entire power grid goes out. It's not a matter of if we will be hit with a super flare, it's a matter of when. That is the worry that I've had for the last couple of days. There's gotta be something that the government is doing to prepare us, right? Well, it's yes and no. The absolute most our government is doing to protect us is just looking at the sun. So if the sun knocks out our power, the rich are just gonna end up hiding in bunkers. Now then, just because the government isn't doing anything doesn't mean you can't prepare for a solar apocalypse. Here is everything you need to prepare for the solar apocalypse. Now then, the most important thing you're gonna need is right here. This is at least a week's worth of food. Like honestly, the only reason my cat is so fat is because I'm worried of the apocalypse coming soon, so I just want to be prepared. And I know some of you might not be okay with like eating your pets, but let's be real. They would do the same if I died, so if she died, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna need a portable charger. Now then, if the world ever goes to shit, you're probably gonna need one of these because this little device right here is awesome. It is basically a wind-up portable charger. Not only that, but it's a radio. I'm gonna turn that off because honestly, if the whole world went to shit and the only radio station still playing is country music, I think you're gonna be better off just killing yourself. It's a flashlight and it has an SOS signal. The most important thing is using this as a portable charger because you know what? The energy grid goes to shit and you're not already prepared with like a gasoline backup generator. You're gonna need something to charge your phone, and thankfully you can connect this to this. Because if the world goes to shit, we might not even be able to connect to the radio stations. As long as I have a portable charger with me at all times, I can just play Tetris wherever I can on this. And you know what? That keeps my sanity. You're gonna need a gasoline car. Now then, I don't know if it's very obvious, but my car is really, really old. Now then, I don't really know if you can see me too well, so I'm gonna do my best to make myself be seen. This car has been around since 2005, and guess what's happened since 2005? A lot of global catastrophes. So I have a lot of faith that this car is gonna get me through everything and anything. I keep seeing a lot of electronic cars being used. If the energy grid completely went out, your Tesla isn't gonna last very long. Now then, I don't wanna flex. This car right here runs on gasoline, and gasoline is king in a time when there is no energy. You're gonna need a life straw. If you're worried of running out of water, I have actually figured out an infinite water glitch, and it's pretty simple. You drink water, you pee. And when you pee, you use one of these to drink that same water. Technically speaking, if you pee it out, you drink it with this, and then you do that again, you're double filtering the water, meaning it's going to be cleaner for you, right? I'm not advocating for you to do this right now. This infinite water glitch only works if the world is going to shit. In regards of an apocalypse, I know the world is already going to shit in terms of climate change. You don't do this right now, please. But yeah, that's all you can really do in case of a power outage, besides, you know, the other stuff. Yeah, if you liked watching this video because of my face, or if you found me any bit entertaining, make sure to hit subscribe. I hope you have an amazing day, and God bless all of you.